Good day everyone. I'm John Vincent Bauer of BSc 1-9, and this is my PowerPoint presentation on theory of crime causation about Marxism criminology and conflict theory. As you can see, the words surrounded Marxism are part of it, like bourgeois, dictatorship, democratic country, democracy, and etc. Okay. So, who was Karl Marx? Karl Marx was a philosopher, author, social theorist, and economist. He is famous for his theories about capitalism and communism. Marx, in conjunction with Friedrich Engels, published the Communist Manifesto in 1848. Later in life, he wrote Das Kapital. The first volume was published in Berlin in 1867. The second and third volume were published posthumously in 1885 and 1894, which discussed the labor theory of value. Karl Marx believed in the unity of all men and in man's capacity to find a new harmony with man and with nature. Marx also believed that human nature is discoverable by a careful study of history and economics. Marx also believed that human makes their own history. Next, who propagate the Marxist theory of criminology? Richard Queenie. Queenie contribution to the Marxist theory of criminology. Criminology is the idea that the studies done by traditional criminologists are done to serve the interest of the bourgeois are invalid. So Richard Queenie, I felt that much of what he posited reflected the overall ideology of Marxist theory of criminology, which suggests that he played a major role in shaping the tenets and bringing Martian analysis to criminology. Steven Spitzer wrote about the idea of a Marxian theory of deviance, which became the model explanation of criminal behavior among Marxist criminologists. Spitzer papers did not focus on the origin of crime in the troubled population of revolutionaries, youth gangs, and unemployed, but instead chose to talk about what he felt were the aspects of capitalism that caused criminality. Spitzer posits the existence of capitalism caused crime, while failing to address how each group of criminal comes to involve in their crimes. David Greenberg, who cited a theory of juvenile delinquency that although now hanggang ngayon ay wala pa rin kulang pa rin sa empirical data para ma-back upan ito, no? Help to establish the Marxist theory of criminology as less of Marxist means of influencing criminal justice policy and more of an approach to looking at crime influenced by the work of Marx. Greenberg is not a vanguard of the Marxist theory, but rather someone who by virtue of his liminality allows for ideas from traditional criminology and Marxist criminology to unite. Okay, next. What is the Marxist theory of criminology? The Marxist theory of criminology is an academic understanding of the origin of classification of, punishment of, and ramification of crime. Crime that is caused by the struggle between two groups of people. One group currently has the power and owns the means of labor. The other group is comprised of the worker and they have no power in the system, where the elite creates laws and pattern of justice that are used to oppress the worker. It is the hope of the elite that by oppressing the worker, they will not be able to rise up and overthrow the elite. Um, the it means the only one group has the power and owns the means of labor, which is the bourgeois. And yung ibang grupo naman ay sila yung mga manggagawa and they don't have the power sa isang sistema na kung saan ay ang mga pili at matataas na tao lamang ang gumagawa ng batas at huwad ng mga hustisya, which is the proletariat, yung mga laborers that are used to oppress the others. Uh, Marxism criminology focuses on what produce stability and continuity in society, but unlike the functionalists, it adopts the redefined political philosophy. As in conflict criminology, it focuses on why things change, identifying the distributive force in industrial societies. What are the tenets of the Marxist theory of criminology? The proletariat must rise up against the bourgeois. Ayun po. Ang proletariat po is yung mga laborers and yung bourgeoisie po, yun po yung mga owns the mean of labor. Either violently overthrowing them to create an utopian society ruled by all people, yet with no laws and protection for individuals. Alternatively, as some academics posits, the proletariat must overthrow the bourgeois and institute the government that is true socialist democracy. It means na they must rise up the laborers against the owners of the means production. Yun po yung bourgeois. Either violently conquer them to make their ideal society na walang batas po na poprotekta sa mga mahihina at sa mga walang kakayahan sa lipunan. Okay, next. Comparing and what are the criticism of the Marxism theory of criminology? Comparing an existing nation, society, or government to a utopian dream. For the future, we always make the former look corrupt and awful. Ayun po, sa paghahangad po nila na makamit yung kanilang utopian dream, mas nagmumukha po silang mga corrupt. Marxist revisionists analyze of history often overlook the success of Western society. There is divided between acad- academic Marxist theory and actual structure of the criminal justice system. Okay, next is the Marxism criminology is active today. Yes po. In academic circle, there will always be in discussion about the Marxist theory of criminology and search result on Google Scholar for the phrase Marxist criminology returned 154 results for the 1990s, 176 for the 2000s and 28 results for the article written between 2011 and 2012. Um, when Karl Marx said the proletariat have nothing to lose but their chain, it means for them to become free. Next, at dito na po nagtatapos yung ating Marxism Criminology. Next is the conflict theory. Conflict theory. Conflict theory versus Marxism. Power is the core of all social relationship. It means ito po yung social power. Social power is the capacity of an individual to influence the action, beliefs, or conduct of others. At sa Marxism naman po, much like conflict theory but power is gained through economic. So dito naman po sa Marxism, dito po papasok yung ating bourgeois, tsaka yung proletariat, characterized by an economic struggle between the haves and have-nots. Okay, next. Influences Karl Marx, believe human make their own history. Ang historical method po ni Karl Marx ay controlling material production, division of labor, formation of economic social classes, class struggles, trying to combine material and ideal factors, structural and cultural factors. Marx continued society was two-class system. Number one is bourgeois, owner of the main production. Number two is proletariat, the workers. Main ideas behind communism are started in Communist Manifesto. Okay, next. Conflict theory. So who was Max Weber? Max Weber agreed with Marx. Economics played a central role in power. Weber defined power as the ability to impose one's will on another, even when the other objects. Authority, legitimate power used with consent of the ruled. Distribution of power and authority, basis of social conflict. However, it subordinates belief in the authority, it was avoided conflict. If authority is not recognized as a legitimate conflict, it was conflict. Okay, next. Conflict theory. So, who was George Simmel? George Simmel wanted to develop a mathematics of society collection of statements about human relationship and social behavior. Disagreed with Marx. So, disagree niya po si Marx sa social classes are formed horizontally. There are differences in power and opinions within each group. Believe in social action always involve harmony and conflict, love and hatred. Okay, next. Next. Okay, George Simmel. Concept and contribution of George Simmel. George Simmel rejects organic theory. So society as the sum of individual interaction. The most important relationship is between leaders and followers, superiors and subordinates. So George Simmel is based on George Simmel, the most important relationship is between leaders and followers and superiors and subordinates. Conflict theory. What is conflict theory of criminology? The Sage Dictionary of Criminology declares that conflict theory is usually constructed with positivism, or those theories that assume that a basis consensus exists in the society. It has taken three major forms. Number one is culture conflict theory focuses on classes between conducts and norms. So it means it focuses on the clashes between manners and rules of or expectations. Um, Culture conflict theory focuses on group conflict theory relates such classes directly to the position of the elites and holds political power. Number three, class conflict theory views power differential in the context of the systematic generation of structured inequality in capitalism society. So, another term for conflict theory conflict theory occur when one class people is systematically empowered over another. The less empowered class demands a share of resource that our more fortunate class has in abundance, leading to the social conflict. Okay, next. Conflict theory, assumption of modern conflict theory. Number one is competition. Number two is structural inequality. Number three is revolution. Number four is war. Feminist conflict theory. Conflict theory has been used in feminists to explain the position of women in society. Feminist conflict theories argue that women have traditionally been oppressed so that the men can benefit from positions of power, wealth, and status. These theories would argue that the conflict over limited natural resources is what led men to relegate women to domesticity. Okay, next. Ay, wala na pala. Yun na pala. So again, I'm John Vincent Bauer and this is my PowerPoint presentation about Marxism criminology and conflict theory. Thank you.